Duncan Hunter, who is one of the Trumpiest members of Congress, I would say. Actually, people forget about this, but Duncan Hunter's father, also named Duncan Hunter, ran for president in 2008 in the Republican primary. He didn't get anywhere, but he advanced a very hardline view on illegal immigration, quote unquote. And he sort of played a pretty integral role in pushing the rest of the candidates in 2008 toward a more restrictionist position. So that was sort of a harbinger of Trump. Duncan Hunter, he was quoted here and there during the campaign, but he actually played a more formative role, I think, in making Trump than people tend to realize. And now he has sort of a legacy because his son was elected to occupy his same seat in Congress. I think Duncan Hunter, don't hold me to this. I'm going to say he was elected in 2010. I think he was elected in 2010. So it's Duncan Hunter, of one kind or another, has been in office in this district for many years. But let's go talk to these Trump people. Is this where the Trump guys are hiding out?
Well, there's one here.
Okay.
I'm with the resistors club.
Oh, okay.
We're all friends.
Okay.
Right here, man.
There you go. How have you been received from people who might disagree with you otherwise so far?
Yeah. Everybody's been great. We've had a lot of good dialogue between each other. Better than what was happening last week, down in San Diego, down at the March for Trump, man. There's about 20 Antifa that showed up, disrespecting our veterans, and police had to get in between.
What exactly happened in San Diego?
Down at the March for Trump last week, we had a march, and then there was an event, and it was a good event, we had some good speakers. We had the gentleman that was attacked for his Trump hat at the El Cajon thing where the black guy was shot last year, which was sad. But there was a bunch of protests, and I live right around the corner from where it happened. And a guy had a red Trump hat on, and he got his ass kicked, and he was up making a speech, and it was a very nice speech. But in between all that,
How many people were there?
400 maybe about 400, and about 20 Antifa and about 6 ladies dressed as witches, whatever the heck that was, out there on their side, and they started just yelling at the veterans and, pulling,
How could you tell they were Antifa? Like, what were they wearing? Something?
Flags and their masks. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
What did they do anything to be actively disruptive?
Just they formed a line. Okay, so there's a stage right there, and maybe a back up to about this tree right here. They formed a line like this, and then on the other side was us. We were right in the front with our flags and everything, man. And then it was just insults back and forth, insulting veterans, whatever. And then the cops came in and they went in between us, and then they threw some stuff, and then the cops had enough, and they just told them to leave. So,
you think if the cops hadn't showed up, they would have gotten violent?
Yeah, I think so.
How so?
Punch a Nazi, like they always say. I believe they would have done that.
Do you think any of the Trump supporters would have retaliated with violence?
Well, it was a bunch of old people, pretty much, man. I was maybe the youngest one. I mean, they probably would have done too much, but probably, man. The vets were pissed, man. A lot of disrespect going on, and we're right there, by the Midway, and down there, where dude, Vietnam against in communism, right? The ships are leaving out of here, going to protect the world. The Mexican thing, immigration.
Out of San Diego.
Out of San Diego, absolutely. Where was the Mexican military during World War II?
Did you just say something?
I'm just curious, man.
I don't know. You tell me.
They didn't have a military.
Okay.
All right, so
no, they had a military.
Well, they didn't. Where were they out helping anybody in the world, man? Where was the military at? They came over here and they fought under the American flag and got citizenship at the end. They came over here, they worked in American industry, building tanks and ships and planes and that type of thing, and got citizenship at the end of the war. All right, so they came over and helped us, and now they're saying that California is theirs when they came over and helped us.
Wait, who's saying that California is theirs?
You were down there at the rally last year, man, down in San Diego by the convention center. With all they were saying was that California was theirs, and there was about 100 Mexican flags. I was right down there in the middle of it.
That's not really a mainstream view, though. That Mexicans genuinely think that California belongs to them in a legal sense.
No, it doesn't. But that's what they believe when they're holding 100 American flags down.
Do you think an average Mexican American living in the San Diego area believes that?
The younger ones that were out there, man, that's all they were saying. All right, now the ones
they wanted to annex California for Mexico.
They say that we were here first and it's ours. All right.
Well, I mean, that's technically true in that the United States did seize territory from Mexico.
We also saved the world with the Mexicans coming here and getting a citizenship to help out as well.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think it makes sense that California will be relinquished to Mexico, but just as a historical fact, it is accurate that Mexican territory was seized by the United States.
Well, either way, man, we're here now, in the situation we're in now. Okay, so everybody wants to bring up all the old stuff, colonialism, slavery, all that stuff, whatever, man, that's fine, but we're in the situation that we're in now. Why don't we deal with what's going on now? All right, instead of bringing up old shit all the time. You know,
I was just talking to a Mexican guy, and he said that when he was outside the venue earlier today, and somebody who seemed like a Trump supporter yelled out, "Hey, go back to Mexico," or something like that. Do you think that's appropriate?
I don't think that's appropriate, man. No, I'm not a hateful person, man. I'm just a patriotic American. Right.
Makes sense.
You know, I don't want to hate anybody, man, but I do feel that you should be legal when you come here, though. Build it, you know, do it the right way. The one guy I was talking to the other day said that he came here, born in Mexico. When he was like 30 years old or whatever, he had 2 friends that got DUIs, got deported, and he decided that he said, well, he wanted to go check it out because he wanted to become a citizen. He said that was after 7 years of being here illegally that he actually applied and got citizenship. And he says that he wouldn't even be able to go back home and vote or anything, and he was born there. And he's worried if he does go home and buy property that it could be taken from him later on. That's what he told me. Now, I don't know the facts on that at all. But that's just my point, man. I mean,
I got you.
even the Americans that did go the right way are against illegal immigration. And I stand by the guy's opinion.
Do you agree with the concern that Trump and Russia have some kind of unsavory connection?
No, I don't think so, man. No, I don't believe that. I think it's all a bunch of hype. I mean, it's just the same thing like I was telling these guys earlier with Marine Le Pen over there. You know, she had to go to a Russian bank in order to finance her campaign because the EU won't do anything to even help her to get her money for her campaign. So now they're saying, Russia, it's all Russia, man, everything. All right, now.
If you were a citizen of France, would you vote for Le Pen?
Absolutely.
Why?
I just love her, man. She's another Trump. I love it, man. I think that you should be proud to be patriotic for your country, man, and not be. There shouldn't be globalization and all this Islamization going on over there, and all this stuff that's happening over there, man. And
do you know that the Front National, which is her party, it was founded by Nazi collaborators, and that's not even an exaggeration. I mean,
her father, yeah. I mean, they had a disagreement on that too. All right,
and she kicked her father out for anti-Semitism.
Right, she did. And I don't agree with anti-Semitism either, man. But I don't think that there should be an EU, in all honesty. And I was proud of the British for doing what they did too for Brexit. All right, standing up for their country. And I don't want to be, labeled a racist just because of the fact that I watch YouTube all the time, man. I see what's going on in Europe, with Islamic immigration, and I'm actually scared.
You watch the Young Turks on YouTube?
No, absolutely not.
That's okay.
No, I'm more. I like to watch the actual videos of people walking around and, like what happened in.
That's what we're doing right now.
Exactly, just like this. This is what I watch.
Yeah.
Live
streamers.
Live streamers. Yeah, that's what I like because I like to see both sides. And like this gentleman here's a resistor, and I've talked to about 3 or 4 more over here, man. Today we've had very nice dialect between each other, and we actually found a little bit of common ground on a few things. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? And so that's all it takes.
Hey, anything is possible.
Absolutely, it is. So I'm not out here to hate anybody, man. I'm here to support. I'm from El Cajon, and Duncan Hunter is he's my congressman. I voted for him last year. Those are the 2 things that I wanted to vote for.
Do you consider yourself more a Republican or more a Trump supporter? Is there a distinction there?
Yeah.
What's the distinction?
Distinction is I'm not a conservative, man. I don't have kids. I don't really have an opinion on abortion, man. As a bunch of things, man. I feel there should be.
So you're not a conservative?
No, I'm not.
Elaborate as to why.
Well, I'm a medical marijuana patient, for one thing. I'm a little bit scared of that, man. I have bad back problems, bro. There's that. And the abortion thing and a few other.
So you're not religious?
No, I'm an atheist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We agree on that.
Yeah, I'm an atheist, man. Actually, I'm agnostic towards whatever, but I'm not a conservative. I'm not a religious person. So, I mean, I'm just not, don't fit I'm a deplorable.
Okay. That's the new political categorization, deplorable.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a.
So you're not a big fan of, say, Paul Ryan, or are you?
Not really, man. And just because of the stuff with Mitt Romney and all that stuff, I didn't like anything that was going on the Republican side at all last year, man. A lot of that.
So would you have?
The only one I really liked, in all honesty, was Mike Huckabee because he's such a nice guy, man. I'm serious. I like him.
So,
They did a lot of good things for Arkansas.
would you have voted for any Republican nominee, or would you have voted only for Trump or Trump and some others?
Well, I was not going to vote for Hillary, for sure. And Bernie Sanders, man, I tell you the truth, I know a lot of Bernie supporters, and I don't like his politics, but I do like the movement. You know what I mean? I mean, because I know a lot of people that are supporters of him, and we would just have fun together. It wasn't ever, you know, as like with Hillary supporters, we would have fights. But with Bernie supporters, it's like, hey, man, you know, it's
just whatever.
Yeah, it's just whatever, man. Yeah. So yeah, I don't consider myself a conservative, man. Okay. And in fact, I wish I could have voted. I wish Trump would have run on an independent ticket. In all honesty. Yeah.
Well, if the Republicans throw him out, he might end up having to do that in 2020. You never know.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. It's only been a month, man.
I know. A lot's gone on.
Absolutely, it has, man. It seems like 10 years ago already since the election, man.
Yeah.
And I worked on the Trump campaign for 3 months, man.
Which campaign?
I'm a signature gatherer, and I worked in Illinois and Pennsylvania getting signatures to put him on the primary ticket. I closed out 2 congressional districts in each state by myself, or me and one other buddy of mine.
Oh, wow.
In Pennsylvania, which actually, you know, there was not, and I did the delegates as well for signatures for them, and they were non-bound, which everybody didn't understand, you know.
Oh, so you knew all about the process going into the primary and the delegate allocation.
I was in Illinois in October and November of 2015. I worked in Park Ridge, Illinois, where Hillary was born and went to school, and worked the library there getting signatures, and they were throwing frozen water bottles at me, man, and hated me and calling the cops. And I'm just out there getting signatures, man. They hated me, so I had to take all my anger to 4 Trump rallies, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Out there and go ahead, because had to be professional, man. I couldn't do anything about it. I had to take the abuse.
Yep.
And it was pretty bad. And then I worked in Decatur, Illinois, and I was doing 100 signatures a day, man, out there. For Trump.
And Trump ended up winning the Illinois primary by relatively slim margin, but that was an important primary for him to have won.
Man, for the general.
I'm saying even for the primary, Trump really needed to win Illinois, and he ended up winning by a small margin. And he ended up winning soon after he had that rally in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it had to be shut down. So people kind of speculate that there was a backlash to the activists showing up and shutting down that rally, and that might have led to Trump actually winning the Illinois primary.
Well, it seems like everything that everybody thinks Trump does wrong actually helps him. I'm just saying, it just seems.
That actually seems roughly accurate so far. I don't know how this Russia stuff is going to pan out, but
I don't either, man. You know, I mean, I'm not a Russian sympathizer at all, man. I mean, I do know. I got some friends, man. I have a buddy of mine. He's in a band. He lives in Moscow, man. He's on my Facebook, you know, and he's a Trump supporter, of course, you know. But I mean, I don't agree with a lot of that stuff. I just don't like the fact that it's just like that meme I saw where it had Marcia and it said Russia, Russia, Russia. You know.
Are you on Twitter?
No, I'm not on Twitter. I'm on Facebook.
Okay, so you're not one of those guys, those Trump supporters who goes on Twitter and trolls people?
No.
Okay. Because there are a lot of those people.
I'm not even on Twitter, man. Okay. I have a personal Facebook page that I'm pretty politically active, man. I mean, I've been on the streets petitioning.
Because Trump's big on Twitter.
Yes, he is. I love it. I love it, man. I also work for Jill Stein too, man.
You worked for Jill Stein?
Yeah, we went to Wyoming and we're getting signatures to put her on the primary ticket.
I'm more in my own little area. I hang out with my buddy.
Wait. So did you work for Jill Stein just sort of as a cynical way to draw votes away from Hillary?
To get paid, and it was to do exactly what you're thinking. Yeah.
Okay. At least you're honest about it.
And I was getting signatures for Jill Stein right in front of where.
Who was paying you to do that?
Where the trains. I work for coordinators all over the country, man. I work for people who. I won't give any names, but I've networked myself. He's the one that got me on the job. Yeah. But I'm a paid circulator, basically, and I do work both sides, and because I believe in the direct democracy from the people and the initiative process. So, I mean, I don't care what it is. I'll go out and circulate it and get signatures to put it up to a vote so everybody has a choice to vote on it. But the Jill Stein one was interesting because right when we were working, I went out in front of a grocery store and we were killing it, man. I get like 60 signatures in a couple hours. There was coal trains just going right by us. Right by the grocery store coming out of
and this was Wyoming.
Casper, Wyoming, yeah. Yeah.
I don't think Hillary ever had a good chance of winning Wyoming. So
no, not at all. No. But it was fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I mean, I'll basically work for anything, man. That I'm a hired gun. I'll be honest, man.
I appreciate the honesty.